Okay, so I'm gonna give it to you straight. I've been shooting videos for about 6 years. And truth be told, I'm not content. Grateful, but not content. See, it's one thing to know how to make professional videos, but it's another thing to make dope videos.
And believe me when I say they're not the same. See, a dope video can also be professionally made, but they also don't have to be.
So that got me thinking, what is it about my work that stands out? And is it anything at all, actually? This is me being partially self-deprecating, but it's the same thought processes that help me, it motivates me to improve, I guess is the best way to put it. So here it is. Here's what that is. It's that journey to that cinematic look. Over the last few months, I've been saving every cool shot that I see on any social media: Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Behance, Pexels, every cool shot. And I ultimately landed on these two. So this is what we have. One is inside with an intense lighting setup, and the other is outside like blue hour with minimal lighting, kind of. And what I like about these images is you get a mix of a lot of different things. You get black skin tone, you get white skin tone, you get more natural lighting, you get more fine-tuned lighting. So for me, these images are going to be great for practice. It captures a range of situations, and that's what I want to be prepared for. I'm pretty much going to try to imitate it. Now I want to be very clear because I'm not trying to copy it. I'm simply wanting to reverse engineer what some of my favorite filmmakers have done and figure out how to create those images that inspire me so much so I can kind of come up with something on my own. I'm here with my buddy Mason McCarty. Said that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for coming out, bro.
Absolutely.
He is an actor, producer, director, and also shoots a lot of cool stuff, man. And he just came out to help me today, so I appreciate it. But anyways, we're gonna let the sun set just a little bit more, then we're gonna jump right into it. The first thing I did was toss up the Amaran 200X. I set it at about 3,300 Kelvin. I wanted to kind of match that amber sunset vibe. And I wanted it to be to the left back of him, kind of working as a rim light, but also kind of wrapping around his face a tad, so we have that key light aspect as well. I want the natural light to hit him on the front. Also, the image that we're referencing didn't have much light in the front. Then on the left, I wanted to bring in my 5-in-1. I didn't have all the gear I needed, so I brought the 5-in-1 in as a negative. It's about 6 foot tall, so that worked out great, and it adds a lot of mood to the scene. I wanted it to be a little different, so I pulled the car and put it behind him to kind of create some, you know, the other picture had a fence in it. We didn't have that, we just had a driveway and grass, so I wanted to add something like that to kind of add that texture in the back. Now, you can see here that we put the red lights on. I wish I would have thought about that from the beginning, but I love how it created a lot more color contrast there. It was not intentional, but once I turned it on, I was like, that's the image. And then Mason just did his thing. You know, he's a great actor. He just started striking some poses. What do you guys think about the results? As you can see, the color is really where it shines at. It's the halation. I just want to note that I put on there 16 mil grain, and I did some of the advanced settings. I think we got a good image that looks like classic film. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this next one was a little bit more difficult just because it had the technical challenge of lighting something with a little bit more finesse. Fortunately, my friend Brianna Hawkins came out to be in the video. She is the writer, director, producer, creative director slash the girl that wears many hats for We Are Demi Rebel, based in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a creative agency, and she's great at everything she does. You can check her Instagram and her work out below. But let's get right into it. So first, you see me here setting up the Amaran 200X again. It's one of my favorite lights. It's affordable and it's light. It doesn't have the best build quality, but it's a great light. I set that up with the 150D again. It's just a great softbox without having to set up a 4x or a 6x. It has a lot of range, and I put it on a half diffusion with grid. So I actually ended up putting a 200X on a spotlight mount because, as you can see in the original image, you have a kind of curvature happening on the right side of the actor. So I wanted to recreate that. So I used a spotlight mount with a 90-degree lens and kind of softened up the edges a little bit and pulled it pretty far away. got that on that wall, was able to create that color contrast. And then you can see there's a natural practical, which kind of separates. So if we want to do something a little different, it's kind of separating us a little bit from that original image. And honestly, I didn't have a lot of neg to work with, so I had to pull with a lot of things that I had on hand. I had my 5-in-1 there. Again, I put that on the table. I also they had 2 5-in-1s there, smaller, but I was able to put one on the wall. The white walls were shooting a lot of light around, and I needed something to kind of negate that a little bit. I wish I had a full 48-inch floppy, but I don't. I also put one propped up on the light in the table, kind of ghetto rigged, but got it there just to add some more shape to it. They actually had their own Amaran 200X sitting there. I did not know that the studio was going to have that, but they did, and it had a rectangular Godox softbox on it, and I was like, oh, that'll be perfect for a rim light. So I was able to throw that up on a C-stand and arm it out and match it to my color temperature and get that rim light for her. I kept it pretty dim just because I wanted it to be subtle. And guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about the results. Alright, so that is it. I really appreciate anyone who has made it this far and watching this video. It's my first one, and if you made it this far, I thought it was interesting, it means a lot. Ultimately, I hope you guys enjoyed the results and take some of these accounts into your own projects. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.